We're going to Vegas, and we're running the show there. It's called the EveryDay Compassion Movement.
So what's the plan on board?
So I asked, I said, because they were like, well, what could we do? You know what I mean? And I was like, can we give away a free ticket? A free ticket to somebody, because I think that's cool.
We're still trying to contact the media relations team about it.
Of course.
Yeah, to let them know. I think your WestJet had responded to
Yeah, we sent a tweet. They sent a big message back and said, we love what we're doing. We'll support you totally. Retweet the results that you get after the WestJet. Because I got lots of followers, right? So I was like, okay, we'll retweet what happens. The WestJet agent over there right now is like talking to head management, and she's trying to make it happen to us. And she's trying really hard to make it happen. And again, they only had 4 hours notice to try and what we requested, to give away some free tickets.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest on board today. They are part of Actions of Compassion. They go around North America basically doing little acts of compassion here and there. Sometimes not so little, sometimes they're actually quite big. They are on social media. They are going to come through the cabin, stop, talk to them, find out what they're about, where they're from, what they're doing. I encourage you to do so. They are going to have some treats to give out as well. And find out how you can get involved, what you can do to keep motion and going. So it's Shane James as we go into the cabin. Make sure you stop and have a little conversation with him. Thank you.
Want some free stuff, sandwiches, anything in here? Go in there, passionate forward after, right? It just gets bigger and bigger. I started it about a year ago. So I had about 200,000 Twitter followers, and I leveraged all them to do it, and they went out in masses and had done it. And then I created bigger stuff around it, and now it's just getting bigger and bigger.
So the WestJet flight attendant just came up to us and gave us free food, and now he said, what do you guys want to drink? Red wine? Do you guys want a beer? You guys are part of the compassion movement. So it just shows when you do good in the world, good things come back. Thank you, buddy.
Sorry, I couldn't.
After the WestJet flight ended, I was sitting there waiting for T-Block here to come off the flight, and I was sitting in front of the front seats. And about 20 people walked by me in the plane, and they were like, keep doing what you're doing. We support you. We're so excited. They were like, keep changing the world. And that's what I mean. Any little stuff that you do that changes the world, or any compassionate stuff, or any kindness stuff, any little thing will inspire other people. And we inspired so many people on that plane. Matter of fact, we have probably half the plane now that just joined the movement. It's exciting. And so it just takes, one or two actions, and you can literally change the world. So that was a good flight. That was an exciting flight, actually, wasn't it? Yeah, it was good. Here's another cool story. After we were done, and they got up and I talked on the flight, and we passed out stuff. After we were done, then they came up to us, the WestJet stewardess and agents and stuff, and started giving us stuff for free. And so that was really cool. So it's kind of like the law of reciprocity, right? You do something good for somebody else, you do something good back. Now, it's always not going to come back just like that. That's the problem in society. We all want instant gratification right away. We think, hey, if we do something good, where's my goodness back? That's not how it works. You just got to come from a place of compassion and giving. And when you do that, it'll come back to you in a stronger fold. The universe, the energy will bring that back to you.
I always talk to entrepreneurs. Jimmy, this is the first time I've ever taught how to invest like a shark, right? So I turned my whole presentation around from things that businesses do to be successful, like as an entrepreneur, to these are the things that entrepreneurs should be doing. If you're an investor, these are the things you need to look for. And tomorrow is the big one.
Is it?
Okay. The Steve Forbes. 8 a.m.
That's cool. Okay.
So we got to Facebook Live that. We got to video it.
Totally.
You're going to be getting that from all angles. So just important, okay? We've got to be able to get from behind, okay, behind us to see the whole crowd.
People to spread more compassion awareness, but to go out and do compassion acts, hence called actions of compassion. And so then we created like China challenges and systems, and like, you know, gave ideas, and people would come up with stuff and take pictures of all their compassion stuff. And there was a ton of stories that came in at the start, like we still do like crazy stuff where we're live streaming, and you know, one of the stories is a girl comes in, her two kids, 6 years old and 9 years old, are watching the live stream. Compassion, they're a very compassionate family. I find out the girl, the 6-year-old's going to the cancer hospital doing compassion acts. She's dying of brain cancer at 6. Then we start building a relationship with her. As she's dying, she's like, you got to keep building the compassion movement, Shane, to make a better world. Yeah. She's teaching him. And then she dies. Like, there's so many stories like that have happened. Yeah. And that's why it's like, honestly, we're at the point now, like, everybody we talk to step up. They're like, everyone's like, how can we help? Yeah. That's what like, it's just, I've never built something where everyone, like, I don't even ask people. Yeah, it's like, how can I help you? Right? Yeah. Hey guys, I'm here with Bert right now, and he is the CEO of Star Branding. And she's also a partner. Star Branding is a partner with Tommy Hilfiger.
Yes, indeed.
That's correct.
Indeed.
And he's done really amazing things. He's taken big brands to the next level, like Jennifer Lopez, right?
Sure. And Rolling Stones, we had a lot of fun.
Wow.
Nicki Minaj, Adam Levine. It's been great.
Yep. Did it all.
Yep.
And so, you know, me and him were talking business before, and we were talking a lot about compassion and actions of compassion in business, and I told him about our concept, and he was like, you know, I love it, I love what you're doing. And so I wanted to bring him on and really ask him, you know, do you think that there's a place in business now for more compassion now?
Yeah. And I think absolutely it is. So what I think we're seeing is really a massive shift in the industry at large, where a lot of the power that used to lay with the large national retailers have really been taken away, and it's been taken away by the consumer. Power has shifted to the end user, and they're not about to give it back. And in a situation where everything is being equal, we're now living in a time where people are much more into experiences, they're into how they feel, and how a brand makes them feel, much more so than consuming economy. That's a thing of yesteryear. Okay. So, everything being equal, the consumer being given a choice, they want to be part of something higher plus, something that can make a difference. So, for all intents and purposes, what you're seeing now is then the consumer wanting to invest in, put their money behind, build up something that's cost-based. They're spending money, but not just on stuff.
Got it.
They're spending money on experiences, on things they can share with their friends, their hobbies, having a meal with their friends, and if their money can go towards a cause, it is that much better. And this is clearly in my mind where our economy is heading and where the industry is going.
Got it. That's cool. So
that's the next level.
It is. So do you think anybody starting a new business or entrepreneurial ventures right now should be putting some kind of social cause inside the business?
100%. I think it's absolutely imperative. Clearly, if you're going to market, you have to have a product.
Yes.
So you have to have a valid product. But once you have a product, you need to, I think, at this day and age, to gain relevance, you need to somehow tie back to some form of a cause where you can make a difference and where the consumer feels that their investment in this product allows them to make a difference.
I had a pin here.
I would say the consumer, they may forget what you say. They may even forget what you do. They will never forget how you make them feel.
Oh yeah,
So,
okay.
did you guys talk about musically? Did you tell them what's happening?
Here's the thing. It's weird because it's a lip syncing service, right? That's how the kids started on it, but then they started to branch out and they started to take the service and started to like leverage into like kindness, compassion, or brands. And some of the kids on there, 12-year-old kids have like 7, 8 million followers already. Like there's celebs already made inside that brand. But here's the thing, like Snapchat is still first movers up, but not like Musical.ly. So you're never gonna go on Snap now and get like, 12 million views. But Musical.ly, if you hit it hard right now, it's the biggest opportunity you can do right now.
Very cool,
yeah,
actually.
it's so cool.
Do you have your own video? Have you done one?
I just started doing mine, right? And we're kind of the oldest generation in there. So we're like, this is a great market space, especially for my compassion movement.
Nice to meet you guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey guys, I'm here right now with Kevin Harrington. Kevin Harrington was an original in the Shark Tank. He was the inventor of infomercial. Great guy, good friend of mine, super compassionate. We do some business together, and I wanted to bring him on and actually talk to him a little bit about, the Actions of Compassion movement, but business and compassion. And do you think nowadays that compassion and business and entrepreneurship play a big role in today?
This is the thing. Absolutely. Okay,
Yeah.
so I've been an entrepreneur for 40 years. And when I was sitting around with a group of young entrepreneurs back in the 80s, and we're like, you know what, we need to help the young entrepreneur movement, because a lot of these young entrepreneurs were starting, they were failing, they didn't know what to do, but we were like, we had a little experience, So Michael Dell was one of these guys, myself, Ted Leonsis, and so we started the Young Entrepreneurs Organization out of compassion for the entrepreneurial movement, right? And now that's called EO, it's now the Entrepreneurs Organization. It's now in 45 countries, 150 cities. It's a nonprofit, and there isn't a day that goes by that I probably don't get some kind of response from somebody in that world.
Yeah.
But every city that I go to, when I go to Shanghai, I get the compassion of the entrepreneurial community. They show up, they support, they endorse. I go to Bombay, India, I go to London, I go to Toronto, you name it. Anywhere around the world now, the doors are open for me. So as an entrepreneur, for almost 30 years now, I've said this is, compassion is what it's all about. Because if you give out to the world, it's gonna somewhere. It's gonna come back. So
true.
So I definitely believe it. I love it.
Awesome. And so one more question is, when it comes to compassion, what do you say that in the business world or in just general, what do you think the most compassionate stuff you do usually to give back?
I mentor. I mentor young entrepreneurs. Old entrepreneurs anymore now.
Everybody.
So, I'm here at the show here in Las Vegas right now, but I come to these shows and I get like probably a third of my time when I come to shows is helping people, advising people, giving them, some connections. And what's funny is I don't ask for anything. As a businessman, sometimes you have to ask for things, right? Okay, but when you don't ask for things, sometimes it's that person that comes back around later and brings you something that's really exciting. So, the compassion is about caring for, your fellow entrepreneur, your fellow neighbor, and I just believe acts of compassion is a great idea. It's
awesome.
fantastic.
Thank
Shane,
you, buddy.
Good job, man.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you, buddy.
Thank you.
And I can contest to when we travel with him, the compassionate stuff that he does, we can't even get out of a room, like not a word of a lie, we can't get out of a room before he's mentoring and counseling other entrepreneurs all the time.
It's a lot of fun, though. I love it.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Good to be here with you.
Awesome.
Right now with seeing Steve Forbes, talking with Kevin and the guys. Cool.
We have to remember what your mission is, what your purpose is, and we see ourselves as providing the information analysis of entrepreneurial capitalists and investors, and we think they make the world turn in a positive way.
We're looking for sure probably a Wednesday then at the latest, right? Just because I gotta know, because all my YouTube guys, everybody, like they're pushing all their schedules every time I do this. So every time I'm like Saturday, then Monday, then Wednesday, right? So they're all like, so I gotta make sure because they're doing stuff already. I'm like, every time we push, I probably lose 300 to 400. So because they're working on stuff, so we just gotta make sure that we're up. Like, I don't care when we're pushing, but we need to know. This guy is not only one of the most compassionate men that I know, but he's one of the smartest business-wise, one of the most made it. And one of the most humble men too, which I love. And right from the start, he has completely supported our Actions of Compassion movement.
Absolutely.
You know, and what do you think of the whole compassion movement and brand?
Nobody's doing this type of thing, right? I mean, you're talking about building a brand, building a company that can go out there with a movement to help people, to actually do something to change the world, actually do it the right way, and actually have the basis of what you're trying to do and helping other individuals. You know, it's been impressive the way you've been building it, and it's phenomenal with these events you're planning. And I can't wait to see this get out in the world because I really think it's going to change it.
I was saying to her, I think everybody to learn motivation, inspiration, hustle should all have to do something like this because serious.
She's been doing it. She just started doing it in like 10th grade and just on her own. We didn't even go with her. Like
Really?
I didn't see her play for probably at least like almost a year before I ever saw her.
Wow.
I broke my brother's iPod and they were like, you have to get a new one.
Yeah.
So they were like, find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's
Huge.
changed my personality. Like
100%.
Yeah.
How do you think it's changed your personality?
now, I think it makes you a little bit more open to trying new things. And for me, I would be like very self-conscious, and now I'm just like, I could care less. Like,
I love
you have to be confident in order to do this, or else. Now, just like judgment, I'm just like, you can judge me all you want. I don't care.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So what's your goal?
Kind of just to get through school.
Yeah? Good for you.
Without any debt. So as long as I can do this and get through school without debt, because it's so hard to have a full-time job and then go to school full-time.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, this is a little shortcut, and I get a lot of practice out of it too.
You're an inspiration to a lot of people, yeah. So that was a very interesting experience. We just stopped on the street there, and usually when I see people performing and doing stuff like that on the street, I just admire and I respect the hustle so much to do that, the confidence, and it just inspires other people. And talking to her and actually talking to her mom said every city that they travel in, she actually goes on the street and will play the cello for one reason, because she wants to raise enough money to pay for her college so she's not in debt. And she also wanted to carry on her craft, where her mom said most of her fellow students that were in music school actually stopped when they left school and didn't follow their dream, or some of them kept with it, but they're majorly in debt. So every city they go to, she goes on the street and she hustles like that to make the money to pay for her college. That's why we got to look at an act of compassion like that. Is you don't know what people why they're doing it on the street. Somebody like that, she's out there and she's using her craft and the confidence and the inspiration to do that. Stop and give them a couple dollars, $5, $1, $20 if you got it. So make sure that when you walk by people like that, if you got a few extra bucks, give it to them, because you don't know what their dream is.
You know, as a police officer, there's so much negativity going on, right?
Yeah.
There's so much misinformation, and there's this terrible divide taking place in our nation, which is affecting literally the entire country.
Yeah.
And I get thousands of messages. Randy, I support the police, but I don't know how to show it. And then I get thousands of messages from cops. We want to bridge this divide. How do we do it?
Wow.
And I thought of Angel Shields. What I want to do is create a fund that purchases what I'm calling them kindness cards.
Okay.
Angel $10 gift cards.
Got it.
That I can give to Officer Joe Blow in Dubuque, that he can give as an individual act of kindness to reward acts of kindness.
Love it.
They see you open the door for a little old lady. They use that as the reason to come up to you and say, you know what, I just saw that little act of kindness. I just want to buy you breakfast. Here's a cake card.
Love it.
We can change the perspective. We can create communication that's never been able to be done before. And the cornerstone of policing is compassion, courage, integrity, and honor. Compassion is one of the most essential components of being an effective law enforcement officer. And you know, that's the way you touch lives.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I love what you're doing here. Here's what this thing can do. We it's going to bring families closer together through the sharing of memories. It's designed to I can send messages. When I die, when they told me I was going to die, I was thinking all of the things I should have said to people in my life, right?
Yeah, totally.
And I knew it would give me comfort to know those things would be said. We created the technology to do just that.
I want to leave a legacy for the next generation to understand that compassion comes first over everything.
Exactly.
You can have compassion and be successful. You can be a billionaire with compassion. You can do anything, a compassionate family, but it's got to come first before everything. I want to be able to leave that legacy of this brand so the next generation can understand this.
What you're doing is you're leaving your legacy. And you're leaving your legacy in a way that's going to touch millions of people in ways that they never thought that they would be touched.
We're in a run because we got a plane to catch at 3:30, right? It's 2:30, no 4. So we just got off the plane from Vegas. We went to the office, quickly got changed. Now we're going to a restaurant called Versus, owned by Aaron Dudley. And he heard that we had the compassion movement. He heard that we were doing all kinds of things to help people. And he said to us, you know what? Why don't you come down to my restaurant and I'm gonna give away a bunch of free meals. We were like, man, that is so cool. So it's been a crazy busy day, like from start at 5:30 a.m. in Vegas. Now we're there at like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm almost kind of losing my voice, and you could probably tell, hey T-Block, starting to lose my voice already, I'm talking so much. So this is a really exciting night because this compassion movement and brand is building so fast. There's so many different businesses and people. Sometimes when we even go out and we do actions of compassion on the street, every now and then you have somebody that kind of has that negative attitude and they're a little skeptical and they think there's an ulterior motive to what we're doing, just not accepting, like we're really there to try and help you. And you know, all of us can change in some way. And it doesn't matter where you are in life, where your compassion is right now, your empathy or your kindness, because I'll tell you this right now, if you think that you've evolved to the highest of height, like you're the most compassionate, you're the most kindest, you know, you got the most empathy and you can't do more, I'll tell you this right now, you're wrong, 100% you're wrong, because you can. We all can change a little bit. And so you can up your compassion game. It does not matter what you learned in your past. It does not matter what the TV says. It does not matter what politics say. It does not matter what your upbringing or any of that stuff. You can become more compassionate. You can think differently and you can go out and help change the world. You can lead with us. So my challenge to you guys is step up a little more. Understand that if you say, I need to change a little bit more, that's how we change the world as a whole. We can all do it together. We're all one. It does not matter what race you are. It does not matter who you are. And it doesn't even matter what beliefs you had in the past, because you can change your beliefs, bang, like that in a second. So my challenge is to you, change the belief a little bit, up your compassion game, and let's lead the world together.
How my boys doing? How's Vegas?
It was good.
Yeah.
We got lots of stuff, lots of big contacts.
Yeah, that's good.
Huge.
We're just gonna go in. They're
Okay.
gonna do gift certificates. So you're gonna kind of go in. We're gonna surprise them.
Aaron Dudley is one of the owners, and we have a large compassion movement. So I travel all over the world, do compassion. We have a big YouTube shows and stuff like that. We were just in Vegas. And so we were talking with Aaron tonight, and he's gonna give you guys a $20 gift certificate tonight for all your meals or whatever tonight. So that comes from our actions of compassion. Aaron heard what we were doing, and he was like, yeah, go into my restaurant, pick a couple tables, give them a $20 gift certificate that pays for their stuff tonight.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Aaron Dudley from VS Bar. When Shane asked me to be a part of this compassion movement, I was more than happy to get involved. A good way for us to be involved, obviously, is just to give out free food, play that forward. So that's what we decided to do. We wanted to just contribute in whichever way we could. So we're more than happy to be involved. I wish that more restaurants would be involved. I know here Sundays we usually do charity events where we're making sandwiches for people, giving them out on the downtown east side. So we are blessed here, more than happy to be involved. Thank you very much, Shane.
T-Block, what are you asking me if we had anything go wrong in episode 1? No, it was perfect. It was flawless. Yeah, right. Just think if business went like that. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah, okay, so let's be transparent because I told you guys that we were going to be 100% transparent. We were going to show you all the ups, the downs of making of the Compassion brand and movement. And of course, things go wrong all the time. So here's what happened in episode 1. Episode 1, it started out as T-Block behind the camera there is filming. Of course, the film and the video has to go off to the editors and now one of the main editors. So they were, hey, our software's not matching up. So there was a big, a big kerfluffle. Is that the right word? Kerfluffle? Yeah, you can use that. So it was just not happening. So that was a big, process. And then the drop boxes, I understand, weren't working that well. And there was like a bunch of stuff with that, the drop boxes. And then it came to like audio and stuff. So here's the audio. So we start and on the camera when we first start, there's like a microphone on the top. Well, you couldn't fully hear me. We figured that out as we were rolling. So we lost some content, some of the best content actually. But I'm okay with that now. I mean, there's a couple of like mistakes. So now we're probably about like 5-6 days behind from our launch date. So and then content. So then next what happens is Shannon that does a lot of the content is producing pieces and she's sending it over to the editor. Well, she's trying to timestamp the stuff she sends over and all the timing's wrong. So how can you create how can you have a team when timing is wrong all the time? She sends it over, the editor's like trying to pick the clips that we want, comes back to me, I look at to approve it and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Why is this stuff in here? And so then they figure out their timing is all off and timing is all wrong. So then B-roll. So then we were like doing B-roll and I get over the kind of approval to see if I like it. And I'm like, there's like a bunch of these little things in here, like clips that are like generic stuff because we didn't really have enough B-roll and it just was not that great. I was like, we need to get this stuff out of there. So we got that out of there and it figured out, okay, everywhere we shoot, we're gonna need more B-roll. B-roll's like the stuff that you see in the videos that's like kind of cool and stuff like that. So we kind of figured that out. So there was no mess ups on the first video, you can tell. So, the moral of the story is this is going to happen everything you do in life. Anything that you want to do, you're going to have major challenges and you're going to have major setbacks and major things are going to happen. And that's where you got to be persistent and that's where you got to keep going and that's where you got to just crank things out and understand that, we want to show you guys us failing. What I mean by that is, most people won't show failure. They just won't. Why? Because they don't want the world to judge them. So they'll never, ever show failure. We are going to show you failure. And truthfully, the other reason is I truly don't care what you think about me. Like 100%, it doesn't matter to me. So failure too for us, when we fail and we show you the shows and we're failing on them, we can learn from them too to make them better. Plus I know that it's going to help you guys. So failure is actually not a bad thing at all. Failure is actually a good thing. So I believe that you guys will learn more through the shows and stuff like that, watching our failures. So that was just like a few of the mess ups. I know I probably forgot like 70 more, but I don't even know. Actually, no, I got a good one. I got a good one for you. Another failure was, this is not a failure, but he made it on time, and that's T-Block. So listen to this. We're going to the airport. We're on our way to Vegas, right? Okay, like we're gonna film the biggest business guys there, like, my partner and client from that was on the Shark Tank show, guys from like Tommy Hilfiger are gonna be there, like just big business guys, right? So I'm waiting at the train. We're supposed to meet on time, right? On time, hint, 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 be on time all the time. And so we're gonna meet on time. I'm waiting, we're about like, I'm still at the train, but we're about 20 minutes late now. He's not there yet. And I'm like, what's going on? So make a long story short, I find out that he had forgot his passport. So he got halfway there. He had to go back and get his passport. I'm waiting at the train. And so the moral of the story is you've got to figure out in real time. So he gets back to the train and he's like, hey, I'm just about getting there. Well, I had to get on the train and get there because I actually had a meeting waiting for me too. So I was like, hey, I got to get on the train and get out of here. So I get on the train. I'm about 3 trains ahead of him. Meanwhile, I'm up at the gate getting my tickets and stuff like that. I get my tickets, and then I'm working to convince the airlines to give away free tickets when we're on the plane. So we missed that content, by the way. And so then he gets there and everything works out. Now, here's the learning in this. You always got to think things through fast. T-Block, that's like new travels, right, for you? You don't usually leave your passport, do you? I've never left. Never, just with me, thanks. Just with me. So this is what I'm saying. This happens to everybody. Like, this is a part of building stuff all the time, you know, and I can go into like so many more things, but these are just the ups and downs that are always going to happen in teams, in situations.
So, we had a few mistakes in the first one. You're seeing the makings of the brand.